makes you sick, but it doesn't change the world. Now, the news from yesterday, Dershowitz and Starr defending Trump on impeachment, Epstein's lawyer and the Clinton impeachment prosecutor. Is this a joke? Do we live in a perverted cartoon? After the 2016 Electoral College win trumped the popular will of our country, millions of women gathered to march in the biggest protest in history from Washington to the world. It was good. It was a start, but it was not good enough. We've welcomed a lot of women into leadership in this country, but we have only a fraction of the women that we need. It's time for women to take over. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Even President Obama said it just a few weeks ago. But you know what? We don't need a man or a president to tell us what we already know. We already know. Say it with me. We already know. We already know. We already know that women must be at the board table, the podium, the voting booth, the ballot, the mic, if we are going to change the world. Why? Because imminent impacts of climate change and extinction are connected to the way we treat people. All people, disenfranchised people, women. Leadership of men has gotten us into this mess, and women leadership is what's going to help bring us out. That is why I ran for office. But there is a very big but here. We will not overcome by focusing on the oppression of women or getting women who look like me elected. If women do not embrace the wholeness of our sex and our species, then we are doomed to repeat ourselves. As many of you know, I came out last month as an anonymous woman in an investigation of sexual harassment by an elected official. I hesitated to come forward for two reasons. One, I knew I would be criticized for the timing and the method of my disclosure, but more importantly, the man was a man of color. And I do not want to chip away at the small gains we have made in bringing diverse leadership to the fore. The World Economic Forum says it's going to take us 100 years to close the wage gap at the rate we're at now. Women earn 80.7% of what men do, but black women earn 67% and Hispanic women only 58%. Wages are only one part of the monetized true value. What about health? What about education? What about community wealth? What can we, as the Women's March, do about it? Let me ask you, are you feminists? What does feminism mean to you? To me, feminism is white. And why is that? Maybe it's because I'm going to get crass here, but pink pussy hats are not representative of black and brown labia. Maybe it's because white women have the luxury of protesting things like equal pay rather than triage as their husbands, brothers, and sons are shot. My most powerful moment at the Women's March was when Janelle Monáe said, say his name, say her name, Sandra Bland, say her name, Amadou Diallo, 20 years ago, here in New York, say his name. What can we do? I'm going to close. I'm getting there, you guys. I'm going to ask you to think about changing your commitment with me from feminism to womanism. Womanism is feminism with a focal point on the ways that white supremacy plagues women of color. And by women of color, I mean their families, their husbands, their sons, black and brown, men and children included. In the words of Alice Walker, who coined this phrase, womanism, in 1979, womanism is to feminism like purple is to lavender. What does that mean? It's deeper, it's richer, it's more. If we want to change the world, if we want to close the pay gap, if we want to bring more women to the New York State Senate, to Congress, to the White House, if we want to bring equity in housing, in wealth, in education and health, we all must become womanists. I charge you, marchers, you sign bearers, you chanters. I charge you to listen to our oppressed sisters and reflect on our own privilege. I charge you to raise the voices of our black, brown, disabled, and trans sisters. Let us create a richer tapestry, a deeper complexion to this movement. This is what we need right now. Join me, march with me, become a womanist with me to save our country, to save our world, to save our planet. Thank you.